What's going on, family? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you are doing well. Betenza Tau just experienced its first ever halving, cutting the emissions by up to 50%. Of course, Grayscale has been pushing, Barry Silver, they've been pushing Tau very hard. But despite the fact that the emissions have been cut, institutional money is pouring in, the price has not really done anything major. And that is one of the reasons I want to do this video, just to give the community an update on what's going on with Betenza Tau. Now, we do see on the charts a formation of a cup and handle over the 12 hours. And of course, the prices will pretty much depend on where Bitcoin goes. Having said that, you do see this every time Tau comes to this level, it absolutely explodes. Now, the depth of the demand zone, that extends all the way to $160 and starts around this 200, just to the place where we've been. Every time we've come here, we've exploded. That's happened multiple occasions, right? But Tau's really a very long game. It's not a simple trade it now. Tau is meant to go to thousands and thousands of dollars. And this pattern historically has held every single time. But despite the fact that institutional money has been flowing into Tau and the demand for Tau is been going up from big money, there's very much a lack of retail activity. And for those that are new to Betenza Tau, what is Betenza Tau, right? It's a decentralized AI network where anyone can create, train, and of course, access AI models. Now, this has been rather complex project to explain to people over the years. But just think of miners, validators, subnets, and token holders who can stake to participate in governance. Think of this as a Bitcoin for AI because it follows the same scarcity model, capped at 21 million and with a scheduled halving every 4 years. Basically, Bittensor currently has 128 plus active subnets. These subnets all compete for Tau rewards, some more successful than others, but the likes of Shoots, of course, Ridges AI are extremely bullish projects in their own right. And I have done a video about this previously. The subnets ecosystem alone grew from 100 million to 1.4 billion just in November. So major catalyst for this coin is going to be not only the halving. I think that is one way, because when you reduce emissions from, let's say, 7,200 to 3,600, the annual inflation has decreased from 26% to 13%. And that's quite key. It is rather a complex, like I said, it is a complex project. And understanding Tau is understanding the role of decentralized AI over the next coming years. And we are going to see some stats here. Of course, the exchange with the largest flow for Tau is still Binance. No surprises there because of its volume and liquidity. So Binance leads the way with about $46 million out of the $250 million volume. And of course, in futures, perpetual dexes, one thing we can see here is whenever there is a spike in terms of the open interest, like you've seen here, quite quickly, the market moves up and down like a seesaw. But we have not seen any significant sell-off. Of course, we've seen one here, and we've seen one relatively here, and we haven't seen any significant spikes for a while now, price breaking above $500. But one thing that I would say is, as the open interest and the funding rates increase, speculation on Tau will also increase in terms of the value proposition here. But I have seen decent amount of money move into Tau, of course. And in addition to that, why does this matter to us? The halving just follows the Bitcoin cycle every 4 years. The problem, initially Tau dropped 24% to $219 due to market conditions. And instead of buy the hype, we all got to sell the news. And that's quite normal. It is absolutely the market conditions that dictated what happened here. Market volatility, of course, reduced rewards, expectation from the miners and of course expectation from the price as traders front run the event. But there was nothing to move in October or November, which coincided with TAO's halving. Here's what's bullish about TAO. Grayscale filing December 2025. They filled their first ever ETF, and Grayscale, like I've said, have been absolutely backing TAO to the hill, and they are offering the GTAO to their institutional investors. So that's going to be quite a massive thing, because Grayscale, for those of you who don't know, the Grayscale Trust, Barry Silbert, they back this. This is their version of the new Bitcoin as data becomes more scarce. Deutsche Digital Assets launched a stake TAO on the SIX Swiss exchange. Corporate treasury accumulation, XTAO, NASDAQ listed holds about 41,538 TAO. That's about $9.3 million. TAO Synergies holds about 42,100 TAO, another $9.5 million. Both of them are staking for yield rewards. Especially funds such as Yuma Asset Management have launched a subnet fund in October 2025. Some people have missed that. Steelcore Capital, backed by Jason Kalaninis, is now invested in these subnet tokens. So what it means for us is institutions are treating TAO as a long-term bet for decentralized AI. They're not worried about the day-to-day price. They are accumulating, staking, of course, with confidence, and they are playing a long game. I'm talking about long-term, 5 years, 4 years, whatever. As ETFs get approved, retail investors have easier access to potentially unlocking the same demand surge that saw the likes of Ethereum, Bitcoin, and Solana, especially in 2024 approval spate. So the halving impacted more than just TAO. Every subnet token has experienced simultaneous supply shock, and what the subnets are is the marketplace for these AI models to compete. So the developers build AI applications, coding images, and each subnet issues its own alpha token. Alpha tokens can then be converted to TAO, and before all of the miners have competed in one global model, ranking the process unfair. But for now, they are specializing in a particular task, and that's a massive improvement. Subnets are competing individually for TAO emissions based on the value they create. Shoots, Bridges AI, it's some of the ones that I've looked into, Targon as well, in terms of the TAO ecosystem. And that puts us in a conversation about price and, of course, where what the next direction for TAO is going to be. And I had a simple thesis as per the chart that I've shared with you previously, that, of course, in the short term, we have a cup and handle situation. But in the long term, I'm playing a long game with Betenza Tau. That means every time it comes to demand is what I'm waiting for. If we break below this current level or the previous level that we held here around that $200, then I expect prices to go to 160. Anything below that, anything below $122 will send us back to around below $100. That's if we go there. But every time in the last 4 years or 3 years, it has come here, the chances are it's always had a huge pump. You can see it here, you can see it here. So my expectation is TAO breaks out eventually if we can get above 429 to about 480 or even the $500 level. I still believe TAO's price for 2026 and beyond should be around a $5,000, $3,000, at the very minimum about $2,500. So this is going to be a long-term value accrual, and 10x here, $280 from today's price. I do expect this to be at least $2,000 to $3,000 in the short term. In the long term, who knows? This could be up to, $50,000, $10,000. You never know. But what is not uncertain is the future direction and why institutional bidders are backing Betenza Tau to be one of the most important projects. And that's the update. The real update in summary is the inclusion of all these different funds into Betenza Tau, mostly pushed by Grayscale. Hope you liked the video. Here's a quick update, and I'll catch you on the next one.